What's up? Welcome inside the opening line. Elite Fantasy Sports Network. Corey and Benny coming at you on a Thursday morning. I don't think we'll be on here tomorrow, Benny. I got to get ready to get out and head down to Washington, D.C. for the weekend festivities. So got a busy day coming up today, but we got to get ready to talk some sports today. How was your evening, Benny?
Honestly, yesterday was awesome for me.
Nice.
Yeah, it started in the afternoon with Cristiano Ronaldo knocking some goals in there, so I made some money on some soccer that I didn't even know was on yesterday. But you know my soccer betting thing. If Messi or Ronaldo is playing, you bet them to score the first goal. You bet them to score a goal during the game. You win a whole bunch of money. So that's what happened yesterday. That worked out well. And then the Toronto game, the Raptors game, worked out about as well as it could have for me. I basically made up for losing all that money the other day in-game betting the Raptors when the Warriors beat them yesterday.
That's what I was going to ask you. When did you bet that game? Did you bet that game? Because remember, Clay was active at first, and then people went on and was betting, and then it was like, okay, he's active, but he's not going to play. And then it was like, oh, damn, I waited till halftime to hop in. When did you hop in?
So I was in – well, I told you yesterday. I mean, I was in even before yesterday morning when we did the show. I got in at Toronto plus 5.5.
Yeah.
I got in on the money line at plus 180. So I had 200 on them at plus 5.5, and I had 100 on the money line at plus 180.
Nice.
So, yeah, so yesterday was like – I think it was like a 300 and – I want to say it was like $370-something that I won on those two, which was about what I lost the other night when I was in on Golden State to start the game and then started in-game betting Toronto. So, at least I made that up. What I did do, though, after the Clay news is I went in on a lot of the props.
Okay.
I took Steph Curry over 31 points, which he did easily.
I was going to take yesterday. It's funny you mentioned that yesterday. I was looking at it. My bet was Steph Curry to score over 40 points and the Warriors to win. That was at 950, but I couldn't. Well, obviously the win didn't come in though.
Yeah. I took Steph. I hit that one. I took Draymond points. I hit that one. I had Kyle Lowry points on the other side without Clay.
That was a great bet right there.
He hit the first half. He had 15 in the first half. It was 13.5. So I hit that one. The only thing I missed on yesterday, Corey, at least, NBA wise, was Draymond rebounds. Draymond only had like 7 rebounds. I needed 10.5 from him. So.
Nah, definitely sounds like a good day. Like I said, I hopped in at halftime. I took a gamble. I sent you a screenshot of the ticket. I took a gamble with that game going to overtime. I've caught that about 3 or 4 times during the year, but it didn't happen last night as the Warriors got dragged. Steph goes off for 43. And now we get ready for a game 4 on Friday night. Klay Thompson should be back. Benny, the thing about it was everybody talked about, where the points going to come from with the Warriors. This game should trend towards the under if Klay doesn't play. The problem was we thought about what Klay brings to them offensively, but really it was on the defensive end that Klay Thompson was missed yesterday, Benny.
Yeah, I mean, that's, again, that was the reason why I liked Kyle Lowry. I didn't think it was going to be that big, though. I mean, they looked hard. That's the reason they lost. I mean, they still managed to put up enough points yesterday to stay in the game, but they couldn't stop anybody. Somebody had a stat last night that they threw out there where, so during the regular season, the amount of points after a made basket, the average for the year for Toronto, or the average throughout the playoffs for Toronto, so like the other team scores and you answering back is basically the idea, is like a 1.09 points per possession, meaning that after the other team scores, they're averaging 1.09 per possession. Yesterday, they scored 1.59 points per possession, which means almost every single time the Warriors scored, Toronto came back and answered by getting a bucket. When you're able to do that, the other team isn't going to be able to come back, especially when you open up a lead. And that's exactly what happened yesterday is Toronto opened up a lead. Every time the Warriors made a little bit of run, Toronto came back and scored. So they never got a chance to cut it down to 2 to 4. It was going from 10 points to 6 points back up to 12. 10 to 6, back up to 12. 10 to back up to 12. So no matter what was going on, it kept winding up being in double digits, and the Warriors never had those chances to cut it and get it back to 0, and then all of a sudden it's a game again. Every time they got close, the Raptors just kind of opened the lead back up and extended it. Again, I mean, yesterday worked out about the way we all thought it would, with everybody being hurt. If you ask me what I think about Thursday's series, I'm going to be perfectly honest. Until we have Kevin Durant information, until we have Klay Thompson information, I can't tell anybody what I'm going to do on Thursday because Friday, because those two things are going to change around everything.
I agree with you on that one. Right now, the number is Toronto is catching 5.5. 215.5 is the total on that one. When you look at the series price right now, you're getting the Raptors are actually the favorite at -102 to win the series. You get the Dubs at -114 to win the series. If you think it's Toronto, if you think it's the Warriors in 6, you get that at 230. Warriors in 7, you get that at 260. Raptors in 6, you're getting that at 500. And Raptors in 7, you're getting at 330 on the FanDuel Sportsbook. So there you go right there, Benny. That is the latest. As far as the MVP goes, Steph Curry's -115. Kawhi Leonard's -104. Draymond Green still plus 2,000.
Wait, Raptors in 6 is plus what?
Plus 500.
I like that.
That is not. That's a very good bet. You know what I'm saying?
I like that.
Yep. Yeah. Now, Game 6 would be the last game at Oracle Arena. So that's tough right there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's the only drawback to that. That'll be the last game in that building.
I mean, because the way I'm looking at it is the Warriors are going to come out.
Series, Benny.
The Warriors are going to come out firing in Game 4.
Yeah.
Everybody's playing in Game 4. Tim Hardaway and fucking Chris Mullin are coming off the bench in Game 4.
Monte Ellis.
Yeah, they're going old school. They're going to have Al Harrington's going to be there. It's going to be crazy. So I expect the Warriors to win Game 4, most likely, assuming that these guys are able to play or are going to give it a go, right? Because you don't want to go down 3-1 heading back to Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see them beating Toronto in Toronto. So
that's going to be a fight right there. That's going to be a dog fight.
Yeah, it will be. I 100% agree.
Kevin Durant will play in that game.
I think Kevin Durant's playing the next game. I really don't see any way that they can keep – listen, if Kevin Durant and Klay Thompson can walk, they should be in a uniform, warming up before the game, and at the very least giving it a go. Last
night they went to a video of Kevin Durant welcoming his teammates back to the locker room. He had a ice pack on that calf, and that was the first time I had seen him because they got the past couple games. They got videos of him in the tunnel,
right?
With ice pack. My theory is that ice pack was placed there. That was not done by accident. They're trying to play some gamesmanship with the Raptors. I think that Durant plays in Game 4.
He plays and he drops 45 like nothing's wrong.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. And then he goes and signs with the Knicks for $100 million.
then he strains his calf and he's out for the season.
Yeah, he misses the first 6 months. Yeah. Honestly, you could write the book now. That's probably
we've come full circle, Benny. So there you go, right there. That's the latest. Draymond for the MVP not a bad bet either at plus 2,000. At least I don't think so. Then you got Kevin Durant at plus 5,000. Pascal Siakam at plus 5,000. Also,
wait a second. Durant is plus 5,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you right now. You got $5 in your account. That's worth $5.
You know why? Because if they win every game if he comes back and they win every game he plays, it's a good chance he can win the MVP.
That's why I'm saying. Again, I'm not going to put a big bet on it, but that's worth $5.
No doubt. So that's where we at yesterday. A couple more things about the game, but when you looked at Toronto last night, Benny, what do you think? What were they doing defensively? I mean, offensively, that the Warriors was not able to stop them.
Well, I mean, the big thing that it really comes down to is the fact that they were pushing the ball up the floor, and the Warriors defensively, it's a combination of two different things basically. Without, Klay Thompson and Kevin Durant are both very good individual defenders.
Yes.
So the guys that they were guarding, have a much easier time now. I mean, Steph was on Kyle Lowry, whereas Steph has been on like the Van Vliet or the, Danny Green for a lot of the series. Yesterday you saw a lot of Quinn Cook guarding those guys and Steph guarding Kyle Lowry. Kyle Lowry had been guarded by Klay Thompson, who's a very good defender.
Much different.
and that's the difference between those two. Kyle Lowry can't shoot over Klay because Klay's got a lot of size on him. He shot over and around Steph all day yesterday, and Kyle Lowry hit 4 or 5 3-pointers yesterday himself. The other thing it comes down to is the team defense, right? Like, when you're used to playing together with guys, if I get beat, he's rotating here, I'm covering there. There were a lot of times where they looked like out of place trying to chase guys around and cover yesterday. So, it's a combination of both of those things. And really, it's just a combination of depth, too. You know, these guys that played big minutes yesterday were usually the guys that were coming in and giving them a couple minutes here and there. When you start taking these guys that were playing 30, 35 minutes like KD and Clay off of your lineup, now you don't have as deep a bench. And this is already a team that doesn't have a deep bench.
Yeah.
You saw major minutes from Quinn Cook. You saw major minutes from Alfonso McKinney. You know, Andrew Bogut played big minutes yesterday. Jonas Jerebko was in there at the end in crunch time. I mean, these are not the names of guys that you expect to be on the floor of an NBA champion.
No doubt. I agree with you 100% on that one. So the Warriors are catching a little bit of injury bug. Obviously, this team has benefited from the injury to Chris Paul, the injury to Kawhi Leonard a couple years ago, not to mention Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving. So situation is right now the Warriors are catching theirs. Will strengthen, numbers prevail. What do you think about the situation on the couple other stories from the game, Benny? Most of them took place courtside. What do you think the situation with Kyle Lowry getting pushed by that fan?
No offense, but, you know, you're in a hostile environment. You're on a road game in the NBA Finals. I mean, listen, what do you think? Put it this way. If you're a Toronto fan and you're upset about that today, then you better tell Drake to sit the F down for the rest of the series.
Yeah.
Because if you got a problem with fans being up in players' faces, you know, there's nothing that guy didn't ask for Kyle Lowry to jump over and land in his lap on the.
When he's sitting in those seats, you got to expect that.
Yeah, but at the same point in time, that's, you know, again, he kind of pushed him back onto the floor. Do I think it's kind of a douche move? Yeah. Like if that happened at the park, would Kyle Lowry have knocked him out? Absolutely. And he probably should have. But this is also part of being in a hostile environment, right?
Yeah.
Put it this way. The Toronto Raptors had their freaking ushers lined up in the walkway so that Steph Curry couldn't shoot his, you know, walkway shot before he goes back. If you got a problem with gamesmanship, then don't play the games. But if you're playing games too, then you can't get mad when the other team does it.
The fan was ejected from the arena. Was that the right thing to do?
Hell no. I don't think that fan should have been ejected from the arena.
Even they said that fan was chirping at him too.
Like I said, then tell Drake to shut the F up.
Nice. I like it.
It's got to work both ways. You know what I'm saying? It's got to work both ways. But do you want to go, Corey, do you want to go to a game and see every single person in the arena sitting there, church with their hands folded in their lap, watching the game and sipping tea? I mean, that's not what I want. I don't want to go to that game.
No, if it's supposed to be a hostile environment, let it be a hostile environment. I think you got to watch your mouth with some of the things you're saying to the players. But by the same token, Drake don't watch his mouth. Another side story from the game last night, as you saw, Jay-Z and Beyonce were at the game. And they were sitting there. When one of the times when the camera panned on them, the woman that was sitting to Beyonce's left was talking over Beyonce to speak to Jay-Z. Now, I knew right then and there that's not going to end well for that woman. You know what I'm saying? Because the Beehive, Beyonce's fan base, whatever, the Beyonce stands, the Beehive, they are like soccer hooligans. They're like online soccer hooligans. They come for you. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, they're going to say that she's invading Beyonce's personal space. Sure enough, I get on the internet this morning, and the Beehive was like, that woman was invading Beyonce's personal space. We must find her. So sure enough, they found who she was. The lady's name is Nicole Curran. So basically what the Beehive does is, if you say something negative about Beyonce, they sting your social media accounts to the point where you either take them down or you just lock them up to where you can't have comments. They hit Tommy Loren twice. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that I am all for.
Well, last night they found the lady who was sitting next to Beyonce. Her name was Nicole Curran. You know what I mean?
Okay.
They found her Instagram page, and they just put the B emoji all over her Instagram page. Like, Becky, how dare you? Mind your manners. You respect the queen. Don't talk over the queen. How dare you? Don't breathe on the queen. Don't do this. Don't do that. Beehive, bee stings, to the point where the woman actually did last night, early this morning, shut off her comments. Nobody knew who this woman was, Nicole Curran.
Right.
They were calling her, the Beehive was calling her a peasant. They, more or less, you peasant, how dare you breathe over the queen bee. Well, that peasant was the fiance of the owner of the Golden State Warriors, Benny.
Now, I have a lot to say right now, Corey.
Yeah.
but I don't want our YouTube page shut down with a bunch of bees on it, so I'm just going to keep my mouth shut. But you know what? This is one of the problems I have in this world.
Trolls is troll culture.
Yo, you need to do something with your life if the most important thing you can do with your life is to sit around and post bees on somebody's social media thing because they were talking. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not like they had a beef. It's not like the two of them were out there. You know, it's not like she was hitting on Jay-Z or whatever. Hell, her husband is richer than Jay-Z.
Yeah.
If he owns the Warriors, I mean, I know Jay-Z's a billionaire. Shout out to him as well. But, you know, her husband or her soon-to-be husband is probably richer than Jay-Z anyway. So calling her a peasant, she has more money. She could buy and sell you. She could buy and sell Beyonce if she wanted to. So, you know, people need to stop with this stuff.
Those are the bees on this woman's page.
Again, I got to be honest. I don't know what the hell is wrong with this world. There's a lot of things wrong with this world.
Just bees. They just and the lady was like, she threw up her hands. She shut her comments off. You know what I'm saying, Benny? I'm just like,
social media warfare, man. That's
soccer hooligans. You know what I'm saying? So
Twitter fingers turn into Twitter fingers. There you go, man.
Beehive shuts down somebody else, calling them a peasant when they are about to be an heiress to the Golden State Warriors. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, Benny. What else we got? What anything else?
Yeah, no, there's something we got to talk about here. Le'Veon Bell yesterday.
I'm glad you brought that up. I was trying to remember what I wanted to talk about.
All right, so here's the headline. The headline is, two girlfriends steal $520,000 worth of jewelry from Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah.
When the two live-in girlfriends part of that sentence is not even the part of that sentence that's the most shocking thing. That's how you know, like, what kind of life do these guys live right now?
Wow.
So basically, for those of you who haven't heard the story, apparently Le'Veon Bell had two, I don't know, they call them girlfriends.
Yeah.
So he had two live-in girlfriends that were living with him at his house, right? And he had $520,000 worth of jewelry in various places in his closet. You know, chains, Rolex watch, like some kind of Black Panther medallion or something like that made of, like, black and white diamonds and all this stuff. First off, a $500 safe could have solved this problem for you.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, you just leave all that jewelry, especially $500,000. Right now, I know you just signed a $30 million signing, $35 million signing bonus, but $500,000 worth of jewelry is $500,000 worth of jewelry.
And, the thing, and what you're saying is correct. Here's the problem: those bitches would have took the safe.
But again, at least if they took the safe, you know, I want to see. First off, you know, if there's two girls there, they're not two women of the world of wrestling. You know what I mean? So these are probably two slender, good-looking young women. You buy a big-ass safe, they are not walking out of your house with the safe. They might tie it.
You have a big safe. You're correct. Yes.
Yeah, they might tie it to a pickup truck and pull it through the wall of your house or something like that. Hillbillies
catch them before they did that.
Right, but they're not going to walk away with it all. The second off is, Corey, you know, you're a single man right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
You meet some strange. You bring it home.
I've done this.
You go to the gym in the morning and leave them alone in your house?
No.
What the hell are you doing?
No,
I mean, like, that's my whole thing with this.
Yeah, you don't do that. Mm-mm.
No. I mean, even if you want them to be there when you get back, you'd be like, yo, here's $50. Go get your nails done. I'll be back in an hour after I go work out. Because he went to work out is the story. He went to work out. He came home, and the two girls were gone along with all his jewelry. Like, again, I don't know. I mean, I have never had this kind of a problem. I hope I do one day that he has, but you don't leave some girl in your house afterwards and just be like, yo, stay there, baby. I'll be back in a little while. Like,
it was very stupid on Le'Veon Bell's part, you know what I'm saying, to leave those women in the house. You know what I mean? I think Le'Veon Bell had one steady girlfriend at this time last year. That's not the case now. You know what I mean? So you got these two gals. They're down there in Hollywood, Florida. So you got a couple of city girls down there. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're going to get some money from this motherfucker, whatever the case may be. My thought process is this. They was like, this is getting ready to come to an end in a couple of months.
Right.
Let's get what we can out of here now. You're not going to get away with it. You're not going to keep that jewelry. But the thing about it is the clout chasing mentality is they want to be the two girls that said they robbed Le'Veon Bell. That's why. Yeah, that's it.
Without a doubt.
They'll never keep that jewelry. The fact that they made the attempt and that crime was attached to their name, that boosts their clout. That's crazy, Benny. That's the world we live in.
And I really honestly don't even think they're gonna wind up going to jail or anything.
Nope.
Like he's not gonna press charges. He just wants the jewelry back. He's gonna get the jewelry back. He's not gonna press charges, and they're gonna be the girls that got away with taking Le'Veon Bell's jewelry and not going to jail for it, even though they didn't get any of the money for it.
Yeah, there you go, right there. So you got to be careful.
You're right.
It's a lot of dudes out there. It's been happening for a couple of years now. You see it more recently than you have with athletes back in the past. But now a lot of these cats are getting robbed. You know what I'm saying? That's like the new thing. You know what I mean?
But again, they're doing a lot of dumb stuff. They're doing a lot of dumb stuff.
Why would you cut yourself off from the plug?
First off,
the person that's giving you money, why would you rob them?
Here's my whole thing. Here, I'm about to drop some knowledge on all these soon-to-be professional athletes out there. So if you're a college kid right now and you really need to know what's going on in the world, here's what you do, right? You buy 2 cribs. You buy one crib that's really nice. That's the one you're going to live in. That's got all your stuff and all that stuff in. And then you buy like a little apartment somewhere. You know, like if it was me, you buy your house in Jersey over here, and then you buy a little apartment in the city.
Yep.
So that when you're out in the city and you're partying in the city and you want to bring somebody back. Now, again, your apartment in the city, it's still going to be nice. You're going to have a nice TV there. You're going to have a nice bed. Everything's going to look good. But, like, it's a crash pad. It's a bachelor pad. Like, you go there. You meet some chick. You bring her back there. If she wants to steal something from that house, fine, whatever. That's your pocket change house. And, again, when you have a $500,000 worth of jewelry, you can afford a pocket change house or a pocket change apartment. You know what I'm saying? So you have that be that place. The only one who should ever see your real house is potential wifey.
Yeah.
And that's after you've been through a whole bunch of stuff with her and after you've already decided that you're going to forgo all the other pieces of strange that have been calling your number and blowing up your DMs and all that stuff. So if you're Zion Williamson, if you're John Morant, RJ Barrett, you're any of these guys that are about to be millionaires right now, buy your nice house and then buy a little crash pad so you don't have to deal with this kind of stuff.
No doubt about it. You know what I'm saying? I agree with you with that one, Benny. See, what these girls, like I said, they doing it for clout, whatever. But people are saying, well, Le'Veon Bell, $500,000 worth of jewelry, he's going to be broke. Y'all remember Le'Veon Bell Le'Veon Bell turned down $14 million last season. They said Le'Veon Bell has done very well with his money.
He just signed a contract with a $35 million signing bonus. All right, fine. You lose half of that to taxes. You lose some of that to everything else. You still walked away with $15-20 million at a minimum
on your second contract.
Put it this way:
after one season on a franchise tag, and
yeah,
turn down the second one.
If you make $50,000 a year, this is the equivalent of you having like a $500 watch or a $500 chain or something like that.
Stolen, yeah.
Does it hurt? Yes, but is it going to ruin you? No.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
There you go, right there. This got to be a little bit smarter, Mr. Le'Veon Bell. Benny, after Pat Mahomes, who's the next quarterback to go off the board?
Aaron Rodgers. I would be my number 2.
That would be your number 2?
Yeah.
I don't know who mine would be.
Now again, I'm not taking a quarterback that early, so I don't have to worry about it. But I would probably say, I mean, what do you got? You got Aaron Rodgers, right? Drew Brees. You got Baker. Is Baker there?
They run too much.
Is Baker there?
I think Baker's in the conversation. I really do.
I mean, I don't think it's crazy. So I would throw Baker in there. I mean, who else do you really want to go so high on?
Jake said it was crazy. When I mentioned it to Jake, Jake said I was a lunatic.
I mean, again, I'm never been the guy who's gone up and taken quarterbacks in like the 4th or 5th round. Like I never have the number 1 quarterback on the board. I always feel I could find value 10, 11 round and, start looking at quarterbacks there. But I mean, if you're asking me who the guy who could probably put up the biggest numbers outside of Mahomes, I mean, Baker's pretty high on that list for me.
I think Andrew Luck, Baker Mayfield, Deshaun Watson and Aaron Rodgers are in the conversation. All in the conversation to be the second quarterback. Now, all of them have their awards. When it comes to Andrew Luck, you would like him. He has a solid weapon in T.Y. Hilton. We saw Eric Ebron develop him last year. But there's really nothing else out there in that passing game. And I can see that team being a little bit more run-friendly this year also. What do you think?
Well, again, if you think a lot of people think the Colts are going to be pretty good this year.
Mm-hmm.
So if you think they're going to be good, that means they're going to be playing ahead in games a lot more often, which means that they may be running out the clock or, kind of taking up more time and going a little bit slower. That's going to affect the passing game. Teams that are bad tend to throw the ball more because you got to come back. Teams that are good tend to run the ball more because if you already got a 14-point lead, you're just kind of, trying to run out the clock and get to the end of the game. If Indy's going to be as good as everybody thinks they are this year, it doesn't really set up as a spot for him to, wind up having his best statistical season.
I know. I think he's very trustworthy, but I don't know if he's the second quarterback to go off the board. I don't know if I want to pay the second quarterback price for him. I always I've had very good Andrew Luck teams, but I don't know if I'm going to pay that second quarterback off the board price, not coming at a discount. The third quarterback going off the other guy is Deshaun Watson. Offensive line, injuries. Other than that, no problem.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if Watson is healthy, we talked about him yesterday when we were talking about that 6th round of that draft there. He uses his legs. They throw deep. They got receivers that can take a slant and take it to the house. Guys like Kuti and Fuller when they're out there. I mean, even Hopkins as well. Like, he's got the weapons. He can use his legs. So he's a guy that I really like. Again, though, can he stay healthy? I mean, that was the problem with him so far throughout his career. When he's healthy, he produces. Great guy for best ball, great guy for daily fantasy. But are you going to get 16 games out of him?
Aaron Rodgers, it's the injuries, the weapons, and a new offense, which scares me about Aaron Rodgers.
So what I like about Aaron Rodgers and why I said he would probably be the guy for me is I don't think Green Bay is going to be that good this year.
No, I agree with you.
And again, so it's the opposite of
that division.
I mean, I want to say Bears. But I don't know if it is the Bears. I think the Lions are the worst team in that division.
I would agree with you on that.
So then it really comes down to –
I wouldn't be surprised if the Lions are better than the Packers this year, though.
I wouldn't either. Though, to me, those two are at the bottom. The two I was thinking of are Bears and Vikings were the two I'm trying to decide between.
That's the thing. It's like, but do you really like Minnesota like that?
No, I don't. I don't really like the Bears like that either. That's what, like, that whole division to me is okay.
Yeah.
But there's no, like, standout team. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think any one of those four teams – I think any one of those four teams could have a season where they win the division. I don't think any one of those four teams make any kind of run in the playoffs.
Yeah, exactly. That can be a one playoff team division with that division champion losing their first game.
Yeah,
like they did last year. That's what happened last year, right?
And you know what? History does tend to repeat itself.
Because the Bears made the playoffs last year. Oh, did the Vikings make? No, the Vikings did not make the playoffs. Yeah, so there you go, right there, and the double joint game right there. But you were saying you think Aaron Rodgers may not be, or you think the team may be bad, so Aaron Rodgers could be back there firing it a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's the opposite of what we were talking about a minute ago with Andrew Luck, right? If you're a bad team and you're losing, then you're going to need your quarterback to be throwing the ball to throw you back into games. And listen, we've seen Aaron Rodgers do that and make some amazing plays and have some monster games when, he's being forced to throw. He does still have some talented wide receivers out there. Geronimo Allison should be back. He's a guy that I liked. Again, their running game is nothing special. So, he's a guy that I have a lot of faith in.
I worry about a 30-something-year-old multi-million-dollar quarterback learning a new offense and really like getting into it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like those dudes are normally they're so rich and so accomplished. It's kind of like I'm not whatever. You know what I mean? And we've seen it in the past. Eli Manning comes to mind. Speaking of Eli Manning,
wait. We cannot put it. Don't even mention Eli Manning and Aaron Rodgers in the same breath.
I'm talking at the time. You know what I'm saying?
Eli Manning at least can chug a beer.
Yo, yeah, you're right. You're right.
Chug a beer.
Benny, did you see the pass from OTA yesterday?
No.
He's done.
Eli?
He's done, Benny. He is done.
I don't even know why we're still talking about it. It's not even a question about whether or not he's done. He's been done.
Horrible. It was a rainbow. It was a rainbow. It was an effing rainbow. His arm is shot.
He's been done.
Yeah,
this is not a new development.
Yeah, but you're right. But it looked terrible. Final guy in the conversation is Baker Mayfield. What you saw him do last year, everything lines up for him.
Yes.
But we just saw a small sample size of it at the end of last year. In my opinion, that's the only real thing going against him. He's got the weapons in Odell and the other pieces. He's got a system that he likes, and he's got a team that's going to let him let loose. I think they could compete the second quarterback off the board.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think
that was crazy. So I'm like, you know what I mean?
Like I said, I don't think it's crazy, but do you really want to take Baker Mayfield? I mean, where's the second quarterback off the board going? Round 5? Round 4?
You got to take him in about the 5th or 6th round.
I mean, again, I don't take 5th or 6th round quarterbacks, but if that's the way you want to go, I don't think it's crazy to look at Baker Mayfield.
No doubt. You got what about you got any baseball to look at today, Benny?
Well, wait, let me ask you another question while we're here, because I mean, we kind of just said Pat Mahomes is the number 1 QB and all that stuff, but you know, there's still some question marks there about his receivers and stuff as well. I mean,
no doubt.
We don't know how that. You know, again, we assume that the Hill thing is going to be fine, but we don't know that that's
going to be fine. I think the Hill thing is going to be with Hill not being on the team. That's
all right. So then, I mean, I love Baker Mayfield, but who the hell is he throwing the ball to?
I think you look at the spot. I think you have the Sammy Watkins. Well, here's the thing. I trust the system more than I trust.
Okay.
I trust Andy Reid's system more than I trust the pieces. I think the kid Miko Hartman could develop into having a presence deep. A healthy Sammy Watkins can be a dominant playmaker.
Is that the kid Hartman? That's the kid they drafted?
Yes, the kid they drafted.
All right, yeah. He supposedly has like world-class speed. It's kind of like a Hill clone or whatever.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, you look at the Travis Kelce, obviously, and the player I like the most on the Chiefs is Damian Williams. Okay. Damian Williams is going to be probably a 50% share guy for me.
Okay, you're gonna be that high on him. Now, where are you getting him now? 3rd round, 4th round, or is he second?
You know, right now he's going in the 2nd round. I think he's probably. Okay. I can see him jumping. Right now he's kind of on that 2-3 turn. I can see him jumping square into the middle of the 2nd, and I can possibly see him, especially with the Gurley injury.
Mm-hmm.
I can see him. Would you take Williams or James Conner? That's a close call to me.
Yeah, I honestly, I'd have to think about that one. I mean, listen, the thing I said the other day that I liked about Conner goes for Williams as well, is when you got these guys in these high-powered offenses that are, you know, they're going to catch the ball, they're going to run, they're going to get touchdowns as well. I mean, that's everything that you're looking for. So I would probably still go Conner at this point, only because I've seen him do it for a season. But that's a close. That's a tough one. That's a close one.
Yeah, no doubt. So I would give. Like I said, maybe the slight edge to Conner because, like you said, you've seen him do it. But I would be surprised if we are talking in August and Damian Williams is on that 1-2 turn. That's how I think he can jump. So you're getting him at a discount right now. So that's the running back I think that has the most question marks of what they can be this season. I think is Leonard Fournette. Do we get a bounce back year from Fournette, or is Fournette like, oh God?
I mean, to me, it's all about his health, right? Like when he's healthy, I have no problem with Leonard Fournette when he's healthy.
Yeah,
they feed him the ball, they give him 25 carries a game, and that's not an exaggeration. Like he legit gets 25 carries a game when he's healthy. He's going to score touchdowns, and he's still going to grind out those yards. So a healthy Leonard Fournette is fine. The problem that I have is this is a guy who came in the league with injuries. This is a guy who's been injured since he's been in the league. You know, when you have a guy like that, like, you know, what's that thing like, fool me once, shame on me, fool me twice, shame on you, whatever. This is a guy that, you know, you keep saying, all right, this is going to be the year he stays healthy, and he never stays healthy. So, I mean, you almost have to factor in, if you're taking Fournette, that he's going to miss a couple games this year and very likely might not be there at the end when you really need him.
Yeah, no doubt. I think that's the case also. He's a handle with care type player. His ADP right now is 3rd round, so he presents a value as a starting running back in that range that has a job to himself. But understand, you know what you're getting into. It's going to be some mornings, but it's going to be some evenings, some Sunday evenings. I'm like, I can't believe this guy did this to me. Players like Sony Michel and Aaron Jones, I don't know.
They're nice to me. They're nice guys as like a 2nd, 3rd running back, or you know, more like a 3rd running back if you really could, because you know, especially Sony Michel. Like as much as I love him, you know, he's going to run, but he's not going to catch a lot of passes. The thing that saves him is he does get the goal line work, and that is a high-powered offense. So high-powered offense is goal line back. You're going to get some touchdowns there. they're nice, but they're behind the other guys that are more 3-tool players that we were just talking about.
FantasyGuru.com draft kit on sale now. Fantasy Guru site. It's part of the Elite Fantasy Sports Network. You want to head on over there and hop in there right now while that early bird special is still going on. Benny, we got some day baseball today. You ready for anything? Anything you like?
To be honest, I didn't write a baseball article today, so I didn't look too deep into it. There's 7 games in the day slate, which is actually the bigger of the 2 slates.
Yep.
The nighttime slate is only like 4 or 5 games, so I don't know. If I have time today, I may try to play a little bit of the day slate. But most likely, I'm just going to throw in a little something tonight. And with only 5 games, it's probably just going to be some GPP stuff.
Even in a losing effort, my big piece of chicken goes to my man, Steph Curry. 47 points, showed it real big last night. So, Steph, you get the big piece of chicken, although the Dubs are down 2-1 in this series.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give it to Kyle Lowry, even though I was going to give it to Steph too, because he just played such a great game yesterday. But I'll give it to Lowry. I mean, listen, he scored yesterday. He did what he had to do. I know he had a softer matchup than they normally do, but, hey, your job is to go out there and take advantage of the matchup you got, and that's exactly what he did. So, shout out to him. He's up 2-1, got a chance to win a championship. And I always like Lowry, man. He just plays hard. That's a guy that I want to see get a ring and, get his due.
I remember Kyle Lowry at the University of Villanova, at Villanova University. I believe it's his freshman year. They played the Tar Heels, a championship Tar Heel team. They played them down to the wire. They called a travel on Lowry late in that game. It was not a travel, and that was the only reason why the New York Cardinals was able to win that game. Lowry almost took him out by himself. That's a team that went on to win the championship. So shout out to Kyle Lowry. My main man, Benny, I'm Corey Parson, Fantasy Executive, the opening line. We are out.